some flags to check. I leave it to you to go to the previous session. So I need to be genuine. I need to have warmth and acceptance. If I am able to focus and develop these aspects, this builds the relationship and the connection. What is the youth role? Process and reflect. When I reflect back, when I paraphrase, the youth are to receive. Well, now I heard my problem. When I hear it said to me, is different than when I say it. There is a big difference. So this is the role of the youth, is to process the words that are being reflected back or an advice, and to see what can I do in this area. The relationship, it's all about alliance which is greater than the sum of the parts. The youth alone is one part. The helper or the servant or the counselor is one part. But when we get together in a process of helping, the whole process is significant. There is an interaction. The parts are youth, counselor, issue or the problem, solutions, and the suggestion. Each alone, if it is a matter, you know how when you, those kind of, if you're sad, read this Bible verse. If you're happy, go to this psalm. If you do this. Well, this is kind of, this is a legend. So if I provide youth with, if you're having problem with your parents, this is what you do. If you're having problems at school, this is what you do. What is this? There's no relationship, right? And it is there, but no one uses it. It's not effective. But what is effective is when I sit with someone where I feel genuine care and acceptance. I feel God accepting me and God cares for me. And this relieves a significant part of the tension or anxiety that I could be having due to the problem. And then I can think in a more helpful and creative way about the problem that I am facing. Now let's take a break. And then after the break, we come back to the question and then break. Okay. This skill, yes.
Relationship where I, even if by the grace of God I'm able to help resolving that issue, would I continue the relationship or continue to follow up and support?
Well, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not about solving, it's about maintaining the relationship. So I would go the other way around. I could not solve, maybe I cannot solve the relationship. I could not solve the problem, but I maintain the relationship. A relationship has nothing to do with solution only. If it's only about the solution, then it's a transactional, more of a transaction. But it's maintaining the relationship. But what, sorry?
Service-wise, like to be a servant.
Yes, of course.
Counselor, like he can like lead them to kind of not rely on you all the time. Like give them a week, for example, to try to like
Process, work it out, think about it. Yes.
follow them. But as a servant, for sure, we need to, right? The difference between as a servant and discipleship or a counselor.
I'm not talking about a counselor as in this formal setting here. The counselor in this formal setting here, it is a totally different type of a relationship. It is a relationship, but it is not a relationship like a servant adolescent relationship. I'm focused more on a ministry perspective relationship, which is a servant relationship. So when I say a counselor, I say it with as a servant, where there is an interaction. There is a weekly interaction where I see the person in the Sunday school. They might come, they might not come. I will check on them. We talk about a problem, and then I follow it after a week or two, and so forth. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let's take a half an hour break. Yes. Is this working right now? Okay. So we covered attending and active listening. Now we're going to be covering empathy and questions. And for the questions, I'm going to go briefly through it. And then there is an article that is titled The Question Cube that is very helpful to have a better and in-depth understanding about the use of questioning, because questioning is another it's a kind of an advanced skills, how to really use the question for the purpose of connecting and for the purpose of really helping adolescents. Empathy. What is empathy? It is listening to behavior, experience, and feelings from the counselee's point of view or from the adolescent's point of view. Meaning, I could have a car accident, but my experience going through the accident would probably be different than someone else going through a car accident. It's not the same. Some people after a car accident, they cannot drive for a week. Some people might take them a couple of months. Some people might just quit driving and say, you know what, I don't think it's in me to drive anymore. Because is anything wrong with any of the people? No. But each one responds to the same event or circumstance in a different way. My role, if I'm to help someone, is to understand their experience, not my experience. If I had an accident today and drove an hour right after the accident, and you had an accident and it took you a couple of months and you're not driving yet, if I say, come on, this is something little, what have I done here? I belittled, I dismissed. Will you ever come to seek advice from me about the car accident or anything else in your life? You're not gonna come to me because this person dismisses my experience. Not because I was able to overcome it, means that everyone should be able to overcome it. This is empathy. I'm trying to understand the experience from the other person's point of view, not from my point of view. And that's why it is one of the advanced and challenging skills at the same time, because I need to suspend what I know, I need to suspend my experience and listen to your experience, understand it, and validate it. Validate it. I'm not gonna say, oh, come on, don't be a crybaby. Well, I'm not validating, I'm dismissing, I'm belittling your experience. But I need to say, yes, this is definitely hard for you. Not because it's easy for me, it needs to be easy for you. And if it is easy for me but hard for you and hurting for you, I need to be able to say, I'm sorry that you went through this, but this must be very hard for you. I'm not saying it's impossible to overcome, but I'm basically connecting with you and telling you you're not crazy. Because the last thing anyone has a problem want to hear is that you're crazy, you're insane, you are good for nothing, this is little. This is the last thing anyone would like to hear. So it's listening to the other person's behavior, experience, and feeling. It is understanding what the word looks like from the other person's point of view. So I am trying to not to use my, I'm trying to suspend and look through your lens. It's being able also, it is being able to express to the other person your understanding of their point of view regarding their experience, behavior, and feeling. So while active listening, I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm paraphrasing back your understanding. Empathy is understanding and expressing how I am able to understand in a deeper way. So paraphrasing is just understanding what you're trying to say. Empathy, I'm trying to understand not only what you're trying to say, but also your experience. Sympathy is having pity, compassion on the other person, which is totally different than empathy. Empathy is not agreeing with the counselee. Empathy is not agreeing that this is impossible to overcome. But I am saying it is hard for you to overcome it, and then see where we can go from there. Sorry. Empathy denotes understanding and accepting the person and not necessarily the behavior, feeling, or their point of view. I understand. It is not my experience, but this is your experience. It's okay to have different points of view, and I need to be able to have the capacity before I help you to understand where you're coming from. A beautiful skinny teenage weighing about 85 pounds come to you sharing, I'm just so fat, I'm so ugly, I can't believe how big my thighs look. I'm so worried about gaining weight because I never want to be called cow again. I absolutely refuse. But I'm so hungry all the time. I feel trapped in this. I feel so fat, I'm so fat. How would you respond? How would you express empathy to someone who comes to you with this? Let's take a stab at it. Who would like to take the first step? No dessert for you. Sorry. There is a dessert, by the way. The dessert came, but that's going to be later on. Yes, go ahead.
I couldn't imagine how you would feel. And how and how being called names is very hurtful.
That's good. That's amazing. Doesn't need to be more than this.
Maybe I could put one more thing, but maybe because sometimes it's, even if it's only 2 words, and if it's the right, it's just like right on the mark.
Very good. Forgot the name again.
Brahani.
Brahani. What did Brahani just do? Paraphrase. What else? Yes. But what did he do by doing this? Yes, well, we know it's empathy. That's what we agreed it's empathy. But what does this do in the process, in the relationship? Connecting. Validating the person's feelings. Hurt. What did he not do that is good? It's good that he didn't do. What is it that, what are the things that he did not do, and it's good that he didn't do them? Yes, or say them. He didn't say, oh, don't feel that way. This is ridiculous. What else? Yes. 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 So 85 pounds, this is skinny, but she's saying I'm fat. So he did not try to correct her statements, but he went to her experience rather than the facts, what she said. What else? Very good. He did not try to solve the problem. Come on, ya habibti, take a bar of chocolate and eat. Or a bar of granola and eat. That's high fiber. He did not try to solve the problem. Very good. He did not focus on the facts. He did not dismiss her concern. But he showed her that he understands where she's coming from. Yes.
Based on a fact, if no one never deserved to be called names.
Pardon me?
The point that no one should be called names, and it is really hurtful.
Yes. Yes. So it's validating her dignity, that this, no one should be called this. This is hurtful.
I think she heard it. She got bullied from someone else. Like she didn't think to herself that she's down.
Yes. Oh, of course. This is the meaning. This is the under. She didn't say it explicitly, but yes, she was exposed to bullying. Any other stabs at empathy?
Would it be appropriate for us to apologize if we sit with them? We'll say something like this. I'm sorry, someone called me certain names. I don't know if it would be my spot to apologize.
You're not apologizing on the other person's behalf, but you are expressing some kind of empathy. I am sorry that you had to go through this. This must be tough. This must be hurtful. So this is another expression of empathy. I am sorry that you had to go through this. So do not apologize on behalf, but you're apologizing that you're kind of, and this is, it's not, it might seem a borderline empathy, sympathy, but you're telling the person, I'm sorry that you had to go through this. I followed, this must have been so hard to be called names like this. No one should be called names like this. Yes, no one should be called names. It doesn't help. Even if I'm fat and you call me fat, it doesn't help by any chance me getting any thinner or slimmer. Yes, very good. So this is another example of another empathy. Yes. Other thoughts or other people want to take a stab at it? I'm training you guys because you're going to be doing this a lot today. Yes.
The bottom line. So you can call these words and you feel very angry. No, absolutely you care about like being called like that. So you say you're very angry and you're thoughtful to this. And now you are being disturbed by heading back to this name.
Would that be more of a paraphrase or an empathy? This seems to be more towards a paraphrase of what she said, which is kind of what she's part of what she said, versus an empathy. So it's a good effort to try to do this. I'm trying to tell the person, I feel for you. I understand where you are coming from. So yes. Yes. Any other? Let's move on. Now the questions. Yes.
Empathy and empathy is kind of the same meaning, but I don't know how to make it different.
A typical, who can give me a typical sympathy, not empathy? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. What else? Yes.
Oh, that must hurt.
Oh, that must, yeah. Oh, that must hurt. Yes. Yeah, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. Oh, poor thing. Oh, poor thing. So, yeah, yes. Yes. Oh, that's a big problem. So many people face this. This is a sympathy and a stab, a little bit of a You're not the only one. Why are you so crybaby? Yes, 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 yeah. So sympathy, I'm not just trying to, oh wow, I'm sorry. That's not the purpose of empathy. Empathy has more of an understanding of what the person has gone through, that this must be difficult. This must have been hurtful. No one, I cannot imagine what you have experienced. Of course, whether more of the emotional aspect only, and nothing, no understanding. Yes. Yeah, kind of. Yes. Yes. And there's one more thing I wanted to say. Um and opening the space for the person to talk about it even more. Empathy, yes. So I'm opening the space. Kind of. Oh, this is so bad. It sucks. It feels bad. And then what? So what? So what are you gonna do about it? So I'm moving so quickly to. So what are you gonna do about it? But empathy, I listen and I'm ready to listen to more, because this is a tough experience. So if this is tough, maybe you need to talk about it. Exactly. Opening the room, opening the space, so the person is more motivated to talk without any judgment. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. 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 And now let's move to the questions. So the question is a very powerful tool to not necessarily to solve, but to solve, yes, and to explore and clarify issues. Like you remember from the movie that we saw. So she talked about general statement. So he asked, and how do you feel about this? Everything is getting expensive. It's difficult for anyone to buy a house nowadays, especially who's a teenager who could afford a mortgage. So he wanted to explore. So this is a general statement. It's tough, yes. And how do you feel about this? How do you think? How do you think about this? So it's exploring to clarify an issue. So we're going to go into, or it's a direct conversation, or to direct, rechannel the conversation depending on the need of what needs to happen. It allows the youth and adolescents to reflect and see different perspectives as well. We're going to try to see format: open, closed, open, closed, forced choices, ranked, and rating. What's an open question? What happened? Right? Tell me what happened yesterday. Tell me what happened with your family. So this is an open-ended question. Were you upset about this? This is a closed question, because the answer is yes and no. So closed question, the answer is yes and no. And generally speaking, it's helpful to use a mix of both. An open question followed by a closed question. So what happened? And then from what happened, maybe we take a piece and then try to understand it more. So when this happened, were you, did you like this or no? Forced choice. So What did your mother do? Did she talk to your brother? Did she talk to your dad? Did she talk to your sister? So the person will choose one of these options. So there are certain options, certain criteria. I want to know what happened. So I'm asking the person with choices. You want to choose a car. What do you care about? The ranking or rating the most. Ranking the looks of the color of the car, the engine, the model, the brand, whatever. So I'm putting which is first and which is second and which is last in your choice for a car, in your choice for a job, in your choice for a university. You like it to be close to home or away from home? Is it the distance? So this is close, open, away, or close. Ranking. Do you like the which is more important? The career, the distance, the name of the university, the length of education? Forced question. What do you like the best? Or you have a very difficult situation. Tell me from a 1 to 10, kind of scaling question or rating question, from 1 to 10. Is it 10 being the most joyful experience? 1 is the most sad experience. How you felt when you were in this gathering? 1 to 10. So this is rating. Subjects, whether it's behavior, feeling, beliefs, meaning, or relationship. What is the subject about the question I am asking? Is it about the behavior? What did you do? How did you feel? What do you believe about this? What is your belief system about what is fair and what is just? What is your belief system about what is injustice? What did this mean to you? When your mom looked at you, when your dad, when your friends, they were all talking, taking a corner, and they looked at you and they continued the conversation. What did this mean to you? What's the meaning that you took out of this event? And when this happened, how did you feel? What did this make you feel? So what's the subject that I want to ask? So these are subjects that are important to ask if I want to really explore a little bit more. And this usually happens after I listen to the person telling their own concerns and stories, active listening, paraphrasing, and empathy. And then here is a space to ask about different subjects. Relationship. Who do you relate to the most? Your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, your friend X, your friend Y. How does this relation look like? Is it a tense relation? Is it a relaxed relation? Is it a distant relation? Is it a what type of relationship? Then the orientation. The orientation, it is about self and others. There are times when I need to ask the person about how do you feel, what do you think, and so forth. How do you think? What? And this is speculation. It's about others. What did your dad do? So it's about someone else. What did your mom? What did your friend do? How do you think your friend, your sibling would react to this statement? So sometimes I need to ask about the person, and sometimes I need to understand a broader to have a broader sense of the issue. I might need to ask about other. Well, my teacher is not fair. He gave me a bad grade, and so and so and so and so and so. Oh, so what the grade that you got? What are the comments that you have? Did anyone else get a similar grade? What's the range of the class? What's the average of the class? So I'm asking about other than the person. So where do you stand from the average of the class, right? Because sometimes, well, I failed. I feel so very bad that, so what's the percentage of success or in this exam. Maybe it's 5%, and I am one of the people who really didn't make it. So 5% made it, and 95% did not make it. So to put perspective, sometimes I need to ask about other aspects, other perspectives outside the person himself or herself. So it's the orientation of the question. Direction of the question. This is about what, how, why, could, and what else. What happened is what is usually used to ask about facts. What are the facts? What happened? The facts that happened. How, it's basically about how the process. How did this accident happen? It has a sequence. How do you feel about this? The why is a very tricky question to use. It's a very tricky keyword to use in question. We should not use why do you feel this way? Because feeling cannot be explained. And this is one of the common question a lot of people come and ask. Why did this happen? Well, I don't know. Why did this accident happen? I don't know. And I should not also ask a person, why did you feel this way? When someone went by and they did not greet me, and I felt very sad and upset. Why did you feel this way? It's better to ask, what does this mean that this person passing by did not greet you? This will lead to a better, more productive conversation. Why needs to be, the only reason to ask why is kind of reasoning, and it needs to be clarified. Why did you allow that to happen? Meaning the reasons, your rationale for you allowing this to happen. But if I ask about someone else, that's going to be usually a gray area. I need to be cautious with this using whys. Could is usually to maximize an open-ended question. Could you tell me more about your experience going to university? Could you tell me more about this event? What else is a good question? What else do you think I need to know about this situation that is important? Because sometimes we ask a lot of questions, but sometimes maybe because I'm not in the situation, it is helpful to ask the person who is in the situation, is there anything else you think is important for me to know, to understand? Is there anything else you think we need to talk about regarding this issue? So it kind of also helps to cover areas that I could have missed. So questions are very, very powerful in the way I craft them and use them and put them to help me help someone else. Tips about using question. Let us be careful asking too many questions. Sometimes, because question is a very powerful tool, we could use it and ask so many questions and fire a question after the other, after the other, after the other, without really taking the time to process, to explain why am I asking this question. The person might feel interrogated. So the person coming to be helped out, but when I start asking, tell me what happened. Oh, what happened? Did this happen? And then I kind of go on firing set of questions. It is common for the other person to feel I'm being interrogated. I'm not being helped right now. So it is important to slow down the pace when asking question. And that's why we use open-ended and close-ended and maybe try to understand the meaning behind what we just talked about and this conversation. Open questions are usually more helpful in exploring. Closed questions are most helpful after an open question. Have a clear intention of every question if you need time to think, reflect, or summarize. What does this mean? Sometimes we feel, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting with someone and I don't know what to do next. It's okay. I don't have to keep on a roll asking a lot of questions, but it might be helpful to just pause and think. So far, this is what we talked about. We talked about this, talked about this, we talked about this, and this is my understanding. So this is a summary of the situation. Is this correct? So I asked the person, is this correct? And the person would verify that this is correct. This might provide me, myself, as a helper with a summary of what we are doing. And maybe this would help me to reorient myself about where do we go from here? Is there any other direction that we need to explore, that we need to check, that we need to talk about? Or this is it for maybe today, and maybe let's think about what our conversations and pray about it and see. Again, I like the question about the context of using all of these skills. I'm using them from the context of being a servant, a helper for adolescents, for teenage people, so that we are able to. So I'm using it to using these tools and these skills to facilitate how can I help someone and being a tool in the hands of God. Always observe the impact of a question on the person, nonverbal cue. When we talk about the nonverbal cue, so if I ask a question, I find the person agitated, I need to pause and I say, I'm noticing that you're agitated. Did I ask you something that I should not, or did I ask you about a topic that you do not want to talk about? I need to check. Or if I find the person is kind of whatever, want to leave or fidgety or kind of not feeling well, I need to check. I need to observe the nonverbal cues in the person, so that instead of just focusing on me getting it right, because sometimes this is becomes a trap that I need to ask the right questions. I need to be able to do this correct. No, it's not about me doing the things correct. It's about the other person feeling better understood and listened to. Not just feeling better, listened to and understood. If the person, if the adolescent feels that they were listened to and understood, even without the problem being solved, this is a big gain. This is a huge gain. Now, two things remaining. Let's watch a video that kind of has, again, this is the videos that I found is a video like in a formal setting. It is a formal setting, but the value is that the manifestation of the skill is very nice and beautiful, and we use it to learn from it. So we're gonna watch a video, reflect on it, and then we take a break for the dessert, and then we do the role play. So we're almost done. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry if you answered it before.
No worries.
What is like our goal? Like, for example, that situation in the person saw. Like, is our goal to just understand? Is our goal to redirect them to where they can get help? Like, what is the ultimate goal in mind with a conversation like that?
Very good. I take this question and I throw it back to you. I want someone to answer this, to help me answer this. Yes.
Well, first you want
To.
like first you want to understand the whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
and then empathize and like show them that like not only are we like we're not here like at first trying to solve the problem, but more so like we listen to them and we understand how they feel, and then depending on how the conversation sort of like flows, I guess you either go about like trying to help them solve the issue like by like having them work through it, or leading them to someone or somewhere.
Very good. So I'm here for you. And depending on the conversation, we can do just listening, problem solving, or directing you to someone else who might help. What else? Yes. Developing relationship. I'm here to develop a relationship with what objective? You're important. I'm here for you. Very good. Yes.
Sometimes whatever we're going through, as youth, service, whatever, is causing a hurdle in our spiritual relationship. So solving that hurdle could be bridging that gap.
Yes. So any struggle, any problem that we face, we usually have a tendency to bring God in the problem. God, you're the reason, or you caused this, or help me this. So sometimes it causes a disturbance in my relationship, in my spiritual relationship. So finding someone to walk alongside with me might help bridge this hurdle in terms of my connection with God. Very good. What else? Does this answer your question? Sorry. Yes, Kat.
I think one of the goals is to, like, I feel like sometimes people come with problems, but then they're disguised as deeper problems, and being able to identify what those deeper problems are, whether they're lies that they tell themselves, and if they're struggling with like sin, for example, or um, unforgiveness, being able to identify those things so that the person can rethink the problems, and maybe that might be like a stepping stone to finding a solution. It doesn't have to be now, but it could be the investment.
Yes. So maybe to have another set of brain to explore with you, and maybe to help guide you somewhere deeper to the core of the issue. Yes. Yes. Very good. Again, you are important. This is the clear message. You are significant. Why? Because you're the image and likeness of God. The core is this is an encounter with God. You are God's child. You're God's son. You're God's daughter. And it is, you deserve to have attention because God cares about you. Yes. Oh, I thought you wanted to. Yes.
Actions like connected and you like understand the problem, so like you don't know what's the best thing to recommend to them for. What do you do then?
That's absolutely fine. So you understand the problem, and sometimes it's okay to say this is by itself is an achievement. To find someone to help to think with me, this is great. Even if I don't know the solution, this is okay. But at least I pay attention to you. Just by paying attention to the teenager, to the adolescent, this is lowering the anxiety and helps the person get their creative thinking out. It's okay to say, you know what, wow, this is a tough thing. You know what, I don't have a solution. Let us pray together and see where God leads us. And maybe this is the time you can check, you can pray. And while you're praying, you ask someone else, what can I do with this? Or what is a maybe I need to guide this person to check with someone else. Who knows? But it's okay. It's absolutely valid. And this is a courageous move to say, you know what, this is tough. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do if I'm in your shoes. Let us think about it. Let us pray about it together. That's okay. That's fine. And this is a perfect outcome. This is a perfect outcome. It's not a bad outcome. This is good. Yes.
Like while we're on topic, once you sort of covered all these reasons, and at the point where you transfer that person to therapeutic skills, like how would we go about doing that transfer? Are we just simply saying, okay, well, it's kind of like, so I'll get someone else involved, maybe the ball any information to that next person on that upper level, or do we just kind of go, okay, here you go, you can deal with it?
It depends on the appropriate reference. There is just the act of referencing has many options. So if it is to a priest, if the person is like, remember last session we talked about a teenage experiencing tremendous amount of guilt because of sin. So this is a situation when I would talk with the person, and then ultimately I would guide the person to a priest, to a father of confession. And it depends. Maybe the person has their own father of confession, but just needed a motivation. Or maybe the person does not have a connection with any father of confession. So I would suggest Maybe the person needs a support to go with him, with her to the priest and then connect them and then leave. And maybe I would stay for a little bit or maybe talk to the priest. I come up with the permission of the person, of course. This person is struggling with a certain sin and they will want to talk to you. I talk with them and they want to talk to you. So this is an example that has many options. So just a priest and different options. When it comes to counseling, it might be a little bit different. It is different because depending on the age of the person who is seeking counseling, if the person above the age of 16, 18, they need to do the initiation by themselves. No one can do the initiations on their behalf. If the person is younger than 18, 16, someone could, especially a parent, like a guardian, they could, or a sponsor, they could sponsor them and try to do the facilitation in connection with the counseling office, because counseling is more of a regulated profession and it's like a family doctor. So a family doctor, the person needs to go to the family doctor or their guardian needs to escort them to a family physician. Or it might be on a service. It might be maybe the person is not connected with the church and maybe the person needs to be connected with a certain service in the church, whether junior high, whether it's high school, university, adults, Bible study, and so forth. So depending on the exact situation, probably it would become clearer in the specific situation what to do next. Let's see and explore and process together a session. It would require complete quietness. There might be I think it has a bit of a British accent, so it's nice. But we'll get used to it. But it has a very nice manifestation of the skills that we talked about and even more. So we're going to watch it and process it together.
Okay, Max, I understand that you have some concerns that you'd like to discuss today. So whenever you're ready, I'm happy for you to voice whatever it is that you'd like to talk about.
Just before any conversation, I want to get your observation. We want to sharpen the observation skills that we have. Yes. Yes. There, she's exactly mirroring. She's copying the way he is sitting. Very good. He is closed. Yes, she's open, she's relaxed, she's sitting square, eye contact to the person, the tone of voice is soft, is calming. What else? Anything else? Yes. There, she's inviting, she's no force. He is leading, he's leading like, I am ready. Whenever you are ready, let's see what you want to talk about. Very good. Anything else? So we captured on the attending skills. She is sitting in a very nice attending position. He is closed off. She's relaxed. She's okay. It doesn't matter. And she's kind of initiating the session.
Yeah, well, I suppose the bottom line is I'm having some difficulties in my relationship with my wife. And
I'm having difficulties in my relationship with my wife. Yeah, it's more of a family issue, but yes, I know. Yeah. So by time we're gonna get used to it.
That about actually being here, and it's a bit embarrassing talking about these things with a stranger.
It's embarrassing. Yes. So what does this tell us about the person? Very close, very conservative, ashamed, embarrassed. No, 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 no. That's يا جماعة يعني this is a God-given face. So she's not shocked. She's okay. She's cool with this.
So you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable discussing such personal information with an outsider.
Did you see what? With an outsider. She's empathizing. She's paraphrasing. She's active listening, and she's paraphrasing what she is. And though that, what is he saying? He said, he's kind of saying, I'm not comfortable talking with you. This is in essence what he's saying. What is she doing? She's okay. She is actually paraphrasing, so this is difficult. She's not taking it personal. And she is paraphrasing. It is difficult for you. It's not common for you to talk about personal issues with an outsider.
So there's a bit awkward. Right. Brought up to solve your problems yourself. Yeah. And you don't go outside the family, you don't take your problems to strangers. And I would normally do, but also I realise now that given the depth of the problem, that I also need to get another perspective on things.
Okay, all right. I guess what I generally say to people when they first come along is that it's not uncommon to feel quite uncomfortable talking to an outsider about such personal information. And even though I can't predict exactly how you're going to feel and how things will go for you today, I do know that in the past, a lot of other people have actually felt quite uncomfortable to begin with, but as they've been able to talk and get things off their chest, they actually feel quite relieved. So you might find that as we spend more time together, that you're more comfortable in this environment too.
What is she doing? Very good. Who said normalizing? Yes, normalizing. This is very important. She's saying, yeah, this is common. It's okay. When I am ashamed, when I am anxious, when I am whatever, and someone normalized, which needs to be normalized, this is normal. This reduces the intensity of the emotions. Does not make it zero, but reduces it gradually to a level that leads to some level of comfort in the person. And what else did she do after she normalized it? Has gone. Positive regard, meaning that she is sharing that other people also, you're not alone. You're not alone. And statistics and my experience says a lot of people have gone through this and they feel, I don't know what's going to be the outcome. She doesn't say, no, don't worry, I'm going to solve all your problems. She doesn't say this, but she says, I don't know what's the outcome of our conversation, but a lot of people have been talking about their issues, and usually they feel comfortable. Let's see what happens with you. Again, she's so tentative, she's so calm and relaxed and kind of providing him a non-judgmental atmosphere. Correct?
Works out that way.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Well, there's a friend of mine who'd been involved in counselling previously. Right. Who suggested that this is what I should attempt to do anyway. Right.
Okay. And you were saying before as well that normally you like to solve things yourself and work things out yourself. And I think it's quite a balanced perspective to be looking at how you're going to resolve things yourself and also to get an outside perspective as well. So I can see lots of benefit that can come from that dual approach.
Well,
what is she doing? Paraphrasing and reassuring. How is she reassuring? Okay. What else? Yes. And what is, there is a lot of benefits to which approach? Okay. And there is something else before she said before this. Yes. Uh-huh. The what, sorry? Yes, she's telling him I'm really on board with you. What else did she say? Yes. Yes, she's using a lot of encouragers, the nodding, the aha, the yes.
Reaffirmed to him that balancing the thought process
Yes.
is going to actually help him, and he's making a step in the right direction. So
Balancing of what?
balancing of the like so he said she pointed out that you're one who likes to solve your own problems. But
Yes.
at the same time, you come to counseling to get outside, like an outside opinion or help.
Mm-hmm.
And he based that on his friends at work who also had already taken counseling and obviously got the results.
Yes, yes. Allow me to replace one of the words that you just said. Instead of the but, I'd like to add an and. And. She put and, not a but. She said it's a balance to do both. She is empowering his normal state of solving problems. How does he solve problems? On his own, by himself. So she's saying it's a good balance to show, so she is empowering his choice. She is not taking away from his ability. She's not telling him, no, disregard your way of thinking. You're here because of an issue. You need to change. No, she's not saying any of this. She says, yes, you are used to this, and this is a good thing, and it's a good balance, and it is a good balance to add another perspective, and this is what you want. Let us see what we can reach out. So she is validating his approach. She's not taking away his choice by validating his approach and adding to it his just new initiative to get an outsider's perspective to the problem. So it's called it's an empowering and reinforcing the process itself. So it has nothing to do. He has not yet talked about the issue. All this so far, 2.5 minutes, which is a lot, by the way. 2.5 minutes, they have not talked about the problem yet. They are just talking about the process of helping. Does this make sense? The process of helping is the focus, and he is the focus in this process.
I succeeded in doing it by myself, so
Yeah.
it's where to go.
Yeah, so perhaps we can shed some light on some helpful approaches for you. Okay. I guess to help me understand your situation, it'd be helpful if you could talk a little bit about what's been going on for you and what's brought you along.
What question did she use? Open-ended. Using what would be helpful? What has been happening? She's asking about behavior. What are the actions? What are the events? What has been happening? It's more of an open-ended still, but what has been happening? Tell me, because it's just open question.
Well, I suppose things have just deteriorated in my relationship with my wife, Angelina. We've been married 11 years now. We've got 2 kiddies. Charlie's 9 and Jackie's 7.
Right.
And she's very busy in her job, and she's always been I suppose, a bit of a control freak.
Right.
She likes things to be just so. And occasionally she would what I would call it, lose the plot, and she'd yell at me and abuse me. But in the past, that was never a problem because we could sit down and talk about it, and she'd recognise that she'd probably gone over the top and whatever. But lately, it's really just gotten out of hand, and she's not controlling her anger or temper, and it really concerns me now because I think it's starting to affect the kids.
Right, okay. So it sounds like to begin with, she might often become quite angry, but she would settle down and you could resolve things. But of late, it's become a lot more volatile and she's become more explosive, and you're really concerned about the impact on yourself and the children.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are young. And, I mean, John, he's a boy and he seems to be handling things okay. But you're always uncertain as to really how that's affecting him. Jackie's only 7, as I said, and she's a lot more sensitive. And she's not really handling things too well at all. And that's really starting to put a lot of extra concern to me.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like you've got a lot of concerns about both the kids, and John's probably handling it okay outwardly, even though obviously he's feeling it. But Jackie, you're particularly concerned about because she's quite delicate, and you're worried about that impact. And all of you are walking around on eggshells at the moment, just waiting for some kind of explosion to happen. Does that sound right?
What is happening here? She's okay. Mm-hmm. What new? She did something new here, extra. Yes.
She added or she somehow that might make
Which is
it was like understanding or
walking. She said walking on eggshells. She added something. So after she paraphrased, empathized, she added something. And after she added something, what did she say? She asked if this is correct or not. This is very important. So now she took a bit of a leap. She added something above what he said. And because she did this, she asked, does this sound okay? Does this sound close or accurate? So by doing this, she's giving the control to who? To him. She's always making sure that the control is in his court, specifically more so because of what he said at the beginning. Of course, this needs to happen regardless, but of course, this is more sensitive with this case because he's used to solving things on his own, right? It's a valid it's a kind of a valid assumption, and it makes sense. But to be extra sensitive, not to be extra, this is a common practice to happen is to ask the consent or the person I'm talking to verify because I added something new. Yes.
Well, I'm concerned about the kids, but I'm concerned about the marriage. It's important to me to do what you can to keep things together because that's better for the kids. But if I have to single out one major concern, it would be probably for Jackie.
Okay.
Because there's been a few incidents lately where the kids have been exposed in the full glory of this sort of volatile, angry behaviour, and that's really starting to worry me a lot.
Right, okay, yeah. I guess I'm very impressed too
to see how much you're obviously devoted to the children, and you're certainly putting their welfare first, and you want to make sure that they're in a stable environment so that they're okay. And I think obviously that's a credit to you as a father that got you available.
Miracle happened here, يا جماعة. Did you see the miracle? Did you notice the miracle? Yes. How did what helped him open up? Yeah. Yeah. Very good. She highlighted. She picked up on a good or positive trait in him, and this is a good thing. We need to highlight the positive aspects. She is working from strength, not from deficiency. Instead of saying, "Oh, you lack this, you lack this," she is working from strength, and she's so calm with him. She's so yeah. She's doing an amazing job with him, and she complimented him he has a she gave him credit for caring for the children in the middle of what he is going through. Now he opened up. Now he's not closed off anymore. Now he's opened up. You see? So at the beginning, if you notice, there are times when he was kind of tapping on his shoulder. So he needed someone kind of to. These are some of the additional observation skills. It means something. It means he needs something to tap on his shoulder. So she verbally tapped on his shoulder by giving him a credit. So he opened up. Miracle here happened. This is if it stops here, we're done. خلاص.
Yeah, okay. And it's really clear when you talk about them, your face lights up. So they obviously.
You see the hands? She's mirroring him. I'm not sure if this is coming intentional or just natural, but they say if two people got connected naturally, you will find that they will mirror one another.
They're obviously very special, very important. Yeah, okay. All right. Just in terms of helping me to understand exactly what's going on between yourself and Angelina that's causing you such distress, would you be able to give me perhaps a recent example of a time where you did have some conflict and talk about what happened?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, she'd been very busy, so just to make things easier for her, I went out away on the way home from work and picked up a dry cleaning.
Right.
And I got home probably half an hour later than what I normally would. And she didn't ask me why I was late or whatever. She just went into a tirade of abuse.
Right.
And wouldn't listen to any comments or observations I had to make about it. And probably the worst part for me was that both the kiddies were there.
Yeah.
And you could see, particularly for young Jackie, the impact it was having on her. And it just really just broke my heart.
Okay. So that sounds like it was very upsetting for you to be involved in that.
Oh, it was extremely upsetting.
Yeah.
Nothing I said or did was going to ease the situation.
Yeah.
It just went on and on and on until she burnt out of the anger.
Okay, right. Yeah. And what actually happened after she did burn out?
You see the questioning? And what happened after? What's next? So it's a sequence. So she started by asking him an example. He narrated a part, and what happened next? And what's the next behavior or incidents? Yes. Very nice. Yes. So she's showing genuine interest in the person. So she listens to the event. She listens to the feelings that are associated with this event.
What happened with the kids in terms of helping to...
What happened with you? What happened with the kids? So self and others, right?
Well, the kids were very restless that night. They were very clingy to me.
Yeah.
Shocked and surprised. These things have been going on for a while, but this was the first time the kids had actually been fully exposed
Yeah.
to the, I suppose, the full spectrum of the abuse and the ranting and raving,
Yeah.
just the volatile nature of it, really quite hostile.
Okay, so that was a specifically bad incident. Yeah. And how often does this tend to happen?
It's episodic. It's always there underneath the surface. Sometimes it might be every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be once a week, once a fortnight. That's because there's no rhyme or reason to things. That's actually adding to the difficulty because I find it starting to affect my work, and I think myself and the kids are starting to walk on eggshells a little bit.
Right. Okay.
So that's a very unhealthy environment for children.
So it's affecting the children, but it's spilled over into your work environment as well, and you're feeling uncomfortable when you're at work. Is that right?
I find myself sometimes not focusing on my work and thinking about how can I fix things up at home so that Angelina's more settled, it's more peaceful, harmonious life that we used to have. The kids' lives are so disrupted. They're not exposed to this intense and negative emotion.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like, Max, for you, it's a very constant and unrelenting distress. It's at home, it's at work, and you're feeling it.
It's starting to be non-stop in terms of the thinking.
Okay.
I think about it at work, I think about it at home. Walking on eggshells. When Angelina goes to sleep, I'll stay awake thinking in terms of what I might be able to do. And sometimes I just think I'd like some peace, and I'd like some peace for the kiddies, particularly Aaron Jackie, because I think she's really feeling it. I wonder whether maybe I should just leave, so at least the kids can have some peace, because if I'm not there, maybe Angelina won't have a target.
Something new here happening. Bravo, Ada, you're the best of the best class. Silence. And she was okay with silence. Why was there silence? Think deeply. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Space to process emotions. Pardon me? Yes, yes. It's giving him space, and this pushes him to talk on. Yes. Did you feel that his sound changed a little bit? Yeah. Yeah. His sound became a little bit more emotional. So you remember when we talked about emotion, crying and not understanding his emotions? So she's giving him space. When giving the space to the person, what are we saying? It's okay to be impacted emotionally. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel it. It's okay. It's valid to feel it. And this is providing what we call safety to the person to go through certain emotions and maybe process it until the person is ready to continue conversation. Yes.
So far, he talked about his kids a lot more than himself, from what I've seen. At what point would there be right on the situation? How would, let's say, on the situation, how would I decide whether I should direct the conversation more to him or the thing that hurts him?
She asked him about himself, like in a minute or so before. She asked him, "This is the kids, and how about you? How does this impact you?" So she asked him. So to get an idea, she asked about the frequency. How often does this happen? She blows up, and this impacts the kids. And how does this impact you? And how does this impact your work? So she asked about to get a full picture of the impact. She did. She asked him about both, like himself and the kids as well. And if you notice also that he's using now her metaphor, walking on eggshells. So it means that he accepts it, and this kind of what we call a picture word that helped him describe the situation that he's going through. Of course, yeah, 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 absolutely. Beginning of trust, alliance, connection. Yes, yes.
It's a big step, isn't it?
It's a big step to think of leaving.
Yeah, it's he thought about he's thinking about leaving, and that's why he got impacted.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I've never discussed it with anybody. But hearing myself say that leaving the relationship would be a possible solution it's a bit threatening to the whole stability of the kids because it's important to do whatever you can to keep the relationship going, and ultimately, if we can work at resolving these issues, then kids will be a whole lot better off. Other than family, but me taking off and having to battle through, explain everything to kids like, fractured life.
Okay, Max, if I could just summarize what.
So he talked about leaving and himself leaving. Why are you laughing? It's me putting the pause. When I put the pause, I do not look here. Okay. Yeah, this is the funny pieces. So, did she tell him anything about leaving or not leaving? She asked him about what? Did she ask him about if he feels like leaving? No. Don't give him wrong information. She didn't. She didn't. He is the one who said, sometimes I was thinking about leaving. This is when he got impacted emotionally. And then he said, now me saying it out loud is making me feel that this is kind of a big word, threatening word to the family. I kind of cannot imagine. So by voice, by hearing it himself, by hearing the voice, because I'm sure the voice came to his head multiple times, but being voiced out with someone else, he is rethinking his own thoughts. He's reconsidering his own thoughts, right? And this is part of the help. She basically, what kind of solution did she give to him? Nothing. 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 But this was an amazing session. This was an amazing time. And he went from being closed off to open, to think with someone else, to bounce ideas. So this was very helpful for him. And now she finds, well, this is the end. Now let us summarize.
I think one session, no matter how long the session is, there is no solution like this. You have to connect first, understand the situation is a problem, and let him open up, and then if she is still taking tell him the memory about what he said, and
Yes.
it's really hard to get even future.
And that's not the objective. The objective, yes. 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 Whose responsibility? The solution is whose responsibility? Yes. The person seeking help, not the counselor, not the helper. It is the responsibility of the person to come up with their own solution, being maybe asked questions to explore different options. So if he said, you know what, I'm considering leaving, she's not going to say yes or no, but she's going to say, maybe an option would be to let's consider the options. And with the option, let's consider the pros and cons for each option. So what are the pros and cons for leaving? What are the pros and cons for staying? So he would voice it, and maybe she would write it down with him. And then you have this. Which do you think you're choosing? You're intending to choose. And he makes the choice. Yes. Help sort out the ideas, to voice the ideas, and he will come up with the solution. Yes.
About so far, you've explained to me that you've become very frustrated and tired and a bit worn out with a lot of the anger and a lot of the volatility in the relationship that you have with Angelina. And you were very worried about the impact on both Jackie and John, and you've been so worried, in fact, that you've considered leaving. But it's also occurred to you that that's a major step to take, and it's one that you would prefer not to do, and that makes you think that you want to even work harder to actually restore things between yourself and Angelina and work things through so that you can actually be more harmonious and live together in peace as a family.
Yeah.
Would that cover it for you?
Yeah, summarizes pretty accurately where we're at tonight. That would be my strong preference.
Right.
Walking out would be a copy of.
Yeah.
I'd probably handle it, but that'd be so difficult for the kids.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess this might be as good a time as any just to draw things together and perhaps finish for now. And perhaps if you wanted to work with me on this, I'd be very happy to support you in whatever it is that you'd like to do in the future in your relationship with Angelina and restoring the family to what it once was and moving forward.
I'd be really happy to do that because I think a lot of things have been clarified for me. Had a better perspective of what the options are and what the downsides of silly thinking would be.
Okay.
So I really appreciate talking to you.
Okay, right. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
So I think this was a very good. I like this session. It seemed like a very good illustrations of a lot of the skills that we talked about. And now it's gonna be your turn to be the counselor and the counselee and everything. So let's take 10 minutes for the dessert. So can we? Or 7 minutes. So 2:33, 2:40. So get a dessert and be ready for the role play. In role play, we need to split in groups of threes. So we need to split in groups of threes. To split into groups of threes. So each group needs to be 3 participants. Okay, we're gonna do a role play like what we have seen. We're gonna do a role play. This was 13 minutes and a half. We're gonna do it 3 minutes, only 3 minutes. Okay, so each one has a copy. Anyone who does not have, this is extra. Whose is this? No, 3. Each one you should have 3. You have 3.
They were already on the table.
Okay. Everyone has 3. All right, you have 3. So let me explain this. How is this going to work for you? In addition to this, I was informed there is, after we're done, there is a course. What is it called, Ayman? A questionnaire. It's a questionnaire for this course that you're going to do an evaluate. You are going to evaluate this course. Okay, so you are going to. This is different than this. You should have and this is in their email. This is in the WhatsApp group. This is a questionnaire that you need to go and fill at the end of the day today. It's gonna take probably like two minutes or so maximum. Okay, so remember, this is significant part for your completion, and based on this you're gonna be graduating or not. In addition to this, of course. Okay, so this is before I forget. Now let's get into the role play. How are we going to do the role play? So first step is get into groups of 3. Can you get into groups of 3 right now, please? Groups of 3s. So if you're not 3, you need to join. You need to have 3. Can one of you join here? One of you join there? Because I believe Damien is not part of the group. Yes. So one of you join here. One of you join there. 3. I want you to. So you're here. 3.
Okay.
3. Okay. So you might need to spread a little bit further. You might need to spread. Either. No, you go with this group. They are. Yes. So Mariam is gonna join you because Damien is not in the He's not in the course. Or are you in the course? Are you in the course? I'm just observing. You're just observing. So, so you observe what they are going to be doing. Okay. So, Shabab, I need your focus. I need your focus. I need your focus first. Can I get your attention? Can I get your attention? Okay. So, you know what you're going to be doing? Okay. So, let me explain to you. We're going to be doing something similar. So, in each group of 3, one person is going to assume the role of the counselor. One is going to assume the role of the youth, and the third is going to be an observer. So the counselor would exercise the skills that we just talked about. And the youth would choose one of the scenarios, youth, case, or topic options. Youth having relationship problem with a friend, parent, teacher, emotional relationship, youth confused about making choices of university program, school subject selection, youth struggling with addiction, drinking, gambling, porn, drug, a topic of your choice. Choose something that you can do with ease and make the have compassion with the with the helper, with the counselor. Okay, so if you're a youth, select something that is easy for you to enact this role, and the counselor would apply the skills that we talked about. Will apply attending skills, active listening skills, empathy, question and questioning. Okay, so the entire role is 3 minutes. The observer's role is to, whenever it reaches 2 minutes and 45 seconds, kind of agree on a signal. So you need to stop and summarize. Your objective is not to solve the problem. Your objective is not to solve the problem. Can I say it again? Your objective is not to solve the problem of a youth. Your objective is to manifest how are you attending squarely, sitting, open, interested, actively listening, paraphrasing, expressing empathy, asking question if needed to the youth. And the youth is to be helpful to the counselor. After this is done, so each role is each scenario is going to take 3 minutes. Counselor would assess himself or herself, self-reflect. We said self-reflect. The youth would assess the counselor. The observer would assess the counselor. This is round 1. Round 2, we're going to switch. The counselor would become, sorry, the youth would become a counselor. The observer would become a youth, and the counselor would become observer. Do the same thing. Do an assessment and do round number 3. So each one got a turn to be a counselor, to be a youth, to be an observer. And that's why you have 3 pages. Every time you assess the counselor. If you are the counselor, you're self-reflecting and assessing yourself. Okay? The way you assess yourself, the way you do the assessment, you put a rating. So how if I am the counselor, how did I feel myself acting in alliance, in attending? And I give myself a range from 1 to 9. Be generous, but not too generous. 9 is the maximum. No one is going to be, and of course, relative to this, we just learned this today. We're practicing. If you feel that the need to give a 10, go ahead, but be reasonable, okay? And don't go 1 or 2. Yani be somewhat yani moderate to generous in terms of assessing yourself and the other counselors. Make sense? Any questions? Any questions? Yes.
You're gonna have a timer or shall we each
You manage your own time because you might start different than the other group, than the third group. So give yourself some space, spread yourself so that you do not, because it might get noisy and you need to focus. So each turn should not take more than 3 minutes max.
Each one?
Yes.
So each one 9 minutes.
each but each turn يعني as a counselor 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Is 3 okay ولا do you want to make it 5? 5 minutes. خليها 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. So go ahead. If you need any questions, let me know.